Hi everyone, and welcome to another baby brunch video. Today we're talking about how to introduce your new baby to the rest of the family and especially to the other siblings. Dr. JD Rose is back. She is a clinical psychologist and parent-child specialist, a mom of 3 girls, and on a mission to empower parents to see their own true capacity to just be amazing parents. She's focusing on development of children as well as how we can parent through conscious and gentle parenting methods. Dr. JD Rose, welcome back.
Hi, Ilana. Thank you so much for having me. It's lovely to be here.
So when is the right time to tell sibling that they are getting another baby brother or sister?
Well, there are a couple of things, and I actually want to backtrack a little bit more to the first sort of part of that, which is when should we start telling our kids that there's a new sibling on the way? And because I think it's so important, a quick tip for many parents is that often we are so excited about the potential arrival of another sibling that we introduce the idea to our kids very early on. And for kids, time is such an abstract phenomenon that they have no idea how to make sense of this. And what then happens is they start to think that having a sibling is what it's like when the mom is pregnant, that all the while that this baby is in mom's tummy, that is what it's like to have a baby brother or a baby sister. And they like, this is amazing. I'll kiss the baby and love it and hug it. And this is, put my hands there. This is incredible. And what they don't realize is that there is actually about to be a baby. And so much of the preparation actually begins even in that pregnancy stage and around the timing of telling them at that sort of perfect time where there's enough time for them to prepare for the arrival, but it's not too soon and not too early that they actually think that this is what it is to have a sibling. So that's the first little tip that I would definitely offer parents. Then when it comes to actually introducing the baby and the sibling to each other, I think what's so important is that we often underestimate our own role in that initial meeting. And so I would say to parents, the first thing to consider and reflect is really around, when are you going to be most comfortable? When is your anxiety at its sort of least? When do you feel like you're in a safe and comfortable space to facilitate this meeting? We often want to do it very quickly, or perhaps we want to wait until we're finally home. There's not a fixed set sort of prescriptive idea of within a day or 2 days, but we do want to ensure that the space in which it happens is a really sort of comforting and nurturing one. What is important in the meeting is not so much whether it happens, at X point or at Y, but rather what it looks like and how it happens. And so that speaks to things like what is happening in the room when the sibling walks in. Remember that this is going to be your child's first encounter with their sibling, and almost set the sort of foundation for their interactions with the sibling. And so very often what we do is moms are holding the new baby for the sibling to come and meet them. And actually what that then triggers is that the first experience with the child is that mom has got an established relationship with the baby and that I'm the outsider coming in. And so something as simple as just letting the baby be lying on a bed or in its cot rather than being in mom's arms makes a significant difference. We almost want to show our kids and really encourage that our relationship with them is still so important and so valid. And so for moms out there, I would say, upon the meeting, if the most important thing I can give you is go and connect and collaborate with your child and be with them to meet the baby rather than waiting for them to come to you.
Do we ever talk about the new baby? I mean, everyone's talking about the new baby. People are congratulating you. There's gifts that are arriving at home. There's a room that's being prepared or a space for new baby. How often do we talk about the new baby and the arrival of the new baby?
I think it's one of the times that we really have to try and get that balance sort of perfect, that example of how we do a little bit of both sides of the continuum. So there's definitely something to be said about how important it is to prepare kids for the arrival of a new sibling. And that is for kids, like I've just said, often very concrete directive information. So that's saying things like, this is what it's going to look like. This is what is going to happen. There's going to be a baby that might cry. There's going to be a baby that's going to drink milk. There's going to be a baby that does X, Y, and Z. We want to prepare them. But at the same time, we don't want to overload their entire narrative and their entire existence with baby, 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 because they are bombarded with information around the baby. Like you've said, it's the new room, there's baby stuff everywhere, there's excitement. Every time someone sees you, they talk about the baby. And again, for me, it really just is about how do we come back to reflecting about this as parents? And when we've got an older sibling in the mix, I think it's so important to hold on to the notion of, you know, everybody's thinking of the baby. Let me think of the toddler. Let me hold the toddler. Everybody's thinking of the baby. Everyone that's involved, the family, the support, the friends, everybody who's invested in this is thinking about the baby. Let you be the one that holds the toddler and thinks about the toddler or the older sibling, however old they are. And be conscious about your efforts and your interactions with them. So that is being very sort of explicit and detailed about thinking consciously of how you can connect with them, how you can spend one-on-one time with them, how you can walk them through the scenario of what you can expect with a sibling. One of my favorite things to do with kids is to talk about with them when they're going through a change, is to talk about what will stay the same and what will change. It's so important for our kids to be prepared to kind of put together a picture of what life is going to look like. It's really helpful to bind not only anxiety, but also to ensure greater sort of collaboration. And actually, you will see them more willing to be involved and connected and part of the process if you've done this, if they know what it is to expect. You know, I often think about even just, let's say, for example, something amazing and fun like a holiday. And maybe this is my personality coming out through here, but let me tell you about the scenario. Imagine your partner or spouse says to you, come, pack your bags, we're going on a holiday. Come, which feels a little bit exciting. That's great. But certainly for my personality, I think I would like to know a little bit about what this holiday looks like. I'd like to know, are we going somewhere hot or cold? How long are we going for? What should I be taking? What does this look like? And we make that mistake with our kids, is that we assume that because it's something fun and exciting, that we often don't have to give them the visual picture of what that's going to look like. So make sure they know what life is going to look like with a sibling. It doesn't just stop at saying, oh, you're going to get a baby brother or you're going to get a baby sister. We actually want to tell them what life might look like, where the baby is going to sleep, how it might impact our kids, how it might change things. Maybe mommy can't fetch you from school anymore. Maybe dad's going to be fetching you from school. So we want to do the scenario of what stays the same and what changes. And often in the what stays the same, we want to really reassure them, validate them with things like, my love for you doesn't change at all. I will always be your mom. I'm here for you no matter what. But maybe what changes is that mommy doesn't fetch you from school anymore. And that supper time is a little bit more chaotic because your baby brother needs to go to sleep. And so these are things that we are preparing them for, and we are equipping them to manage that sort of struggle and bump that might come down the road.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time. We really appreciate it. Follow Dr. Jenny Rose right now. You can find her social media handles and website in our social media post to this video, as well as listen to other podcasts on babybrunch.co.za.